So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'd like to invite all of you to the grand finale of our storytelling workshop and the certification ceremony. It's actually really lovely to see all of you, and it's very, very encouraging. Thanks so much for taking your time out on this weekend and coming to watch your children and cheer them. Thank you so much. I'm Ansha Fernandez, and I am the master storyteller. And I'm also the founder of Stories Amore. Now, Stories Amore literally means stories with love. So in our reading club, we read stories with love. In our creative writing club, we write it with love. And in our storytelling club, we tell it with love. Like we're going to do today. So you're going to watch all their performances and you're going to have a wonderful time. But before I sort of launch into the entire ceremony and all the performances, I'd like to sort of share my thoughts a little bit about storytelling. It is a different concept, and I really want to tell you why I have introduced this concept. So, parents, you know that today we all need to raise a confident child. Because out there in the world, it's all about how you present yourself, right? But honestly, all that confidence and great public speaking skills really can fall flat if the child is not able to articulate and communicate his thoughts very effectively. And that is very, very important in today's world. And believe it or not, storytelling is actually the oldest and the most effective form of communication. Now, let me elaborate a little bit on that. See, anything can tell a story. Even numbers can tell a story. I learned this early on in my career when I was making MIS presentation. So, what is a presentation if not a great story, right? You can use it in math, you can use it in literature, in history, in what have you. You can use it anywhere. If the child is taught to weave his thoughts around a very interesting story, and in the right sequence, he will be able to communicate very effectively. And let me assure you, he will always have a very captive audience. Because who doesn't love a great story, right? Who doesn't like to listen to a great story? That's really the best way to remember things. So that's the second thing I think about storytelling, that it is really the best way to retain and recall details. You will see that today because children have picked stories that were really long with twisted plots and detailed characters and so many details. They find it so difficult to study when they have so much to study in history and math and all of that. But stories, it was so easy for them to memorize it because it's all about putting it in the right sequence and learning it like a story. And once you've learned it like a story, you'd never forget it. Because again, who forgets a great story, right?
Have you heard about dragons? Those slimy lizard-like creatures. I have heard that they are as tall as 3 buildings put together. And they are as fat as 3 trucks. They breathe fire through their mouth and are very scary. But I have heard of a little boy, as little as me, who tricked this dragon. So you want to hear the story? Yes. Say roar to hear the story. Roar! Louder! Roar! So once upon a time, there lived a man who had 2 sons. But the elder son hated the younger one. So you know what happened? The elder son took a younger son to the forest and tied him up to a tree. But do you think that the younger son was scared? No. He was not at all scared. He was very cunning and was thinking of a plan. An old hunchback shepherd was passing through the forest. He asked him, "What happened, my son? Why are you tied to this tree?" So the young man said, "I'm tied to this tree because my back was very crooked and because I tied myself to this tree, I king's street and they scared me. So the shepherd liked his idea and said, "Can you tie me to this tree, son?" So the young man said, yeah, sure. But first you have to untie me so that I can tie you. So as soon as the shepherd untied the young man tied the shepherd up, took his sheep and ran off. Because of his tricks and pranks, he became famous and the king wanted to see him. He demanded his soldiers to bring the young man in the front of him. Pa-pa-ra, pa-pa-ra, pa-pa-pa. Hear ye, all hail the king. I've heard your stories from far and near. Can I really believe what I hear? The flying horse is what I need. Then you'll be a hero. So that night, the young man quietly went to the dragon's house and seized the flying horse. Because of that, the flying horse started making noises. And the dragon woke up. Who dare wake me up from my sleep? I'll grind his bones and make him weep. And came to beat the flying horse. Because of that, the flying horse became very angry and went with the young man. When the young man went to the palace, the king was not at all pleased. He said, I've heard your stories from far and near. Can I really believe what I hear? The little bells from the dragon's bed is what I need. Then you'll be a hero. So that night, the young man quietly went to the dragon's house from the roof, took an hook and seized the little bells. Because of that, little bells started making noises and the dragon woke up. You dare wake me up from my sleep. I'll grind your bones and make you weep. He jumped on the young man and tied him up and told his wife that tomorrow morning when I'll go out, you must kill him and cook him up. And when I'll come back, you both will eat him. So next morning when the dragoness untied the young man and was searching for a knife, the young man seized the dragoness and threw her into the oven. Because of that, the dragoness died. So he took the little bells and went to the palace, but the king was not at all pleased. He said, I've heard your stories from far and near. Can I really believe what I hear? The dragon himself is what I need. Then you'll be a hero. So the young man dressed himself as a beggar and sat in the front of the dragon's house. He saw that the dragon was busy making a box. So he went to the dragon and asked, for whom are you making this box? So the dragon said, I'm making this box for the man who killed my wife, took my little bells, and took my flying horse. So the young man said, even I cannot fit in this. Even I cannot fit in this. So the dragon said, no, that's not right. I can also fit in this box. So the young man said, so prove me then, prove me. So as soon as the dragon went inside the box, he shut it up, locked it and sealed it and went to the king's palace. The king was very excited to see the dragon, but he could not believe that the dragon was there. So he slightly opened the box and snap! The dragon had bit the king's head. So the young man married to the king's daughter and ruled over the kingdom. Can I tell you a secret? The dragon is still trapped in the castle somewhere. I wish I could see him. Thank you.